off, I think it's a sign that I should go to sleep. But I'm gonna try to do this again. I'm gonna try to do this again. If it kicks me off this time, I'm just gonna go to sleep. The problem is, um, that I know since it kicked me off of the other one, that it probably says I'm still on that stream. So will people see this stream? I don't know. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait it out. You know, 10, 15 minutes, and if nobody shows up, I'll take it as my sign to go to sleep. Let's see if there's something I can put for my green screen. A crane fly. Why I have a crane fly in my photos? Don't ask. What else do I have? I don't have anything good. Señora, ¿quién iremos? Tú tienes palabra de vida eterna. All right. Let's give it a few minutes to see if anyone shows up to the new and improved stream, not the first stream that just booted me out for some reason. The dumbest thing is when it kicks me out, I don't have a way to go back in and close it. It just doesn't exist on my phone anymore. But I actually have 2 YouTube accounts, so I can look at it from my other YouTube accounts. I'm like, this is stupid. TJ, what kind of name you got? TT2J23. Hi, what's your real name? I don't want to say all that. Name, surname. Hey, what's your real name too? That's a fake name. Y'all both got fake names. Come on, man. We real up in here. We're using our real names. Can you suggest me a best P star? What does that mean, bro? I don't know what that means. There must be some young people terminology or something. Sport Monkey 25, what's poppin'? Praxton. What's up, Praxton? What's my other YouTube channel? It's a very similar name. Nah, actually, you know what? That's when I was using my real name. So if you type in Jalen Shabazz, JALEN SHABAZZ, it'll pop up. That's when I was still in college running track and lifting weights and stuff. So I was uploading all kinds of stuff on that channel. Mr. Ukraine, I'm gonna give you one pass before I block you, bro. Don't say stuff like that on my stream. Please and thank you. Name, surname. I see what you're saying now. Well, yeah, we're not doing that either, bro. It's not the place for that. You should probably stop watching it too. It's probably destroying your brain. But that's just my personal opinion. You didn't hear me say that word. Why are you using that word? No, it's not a good word. Is Austin better than Houston or Dallas? I can't say it's better. It depends on what you're looking for, man. You like Corvettes? I have a rare 1994 LT1 Gen 2 ZR1 convertible, 532 horsepower, top speed between 215 and 222. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know anything about cars. I do know that 215 is crazy fast, but I I don't know anything about cars, bro. I've had like 6 different cars, but I just get ones that I think are, you know, not that expensive and run well. I look like a football coach. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. That's my profession. I wouldn't say I'm a football coach. Quieter metro area, Texas to visit. If you were going to visit somewhere, I would say visit Austin. Austin is the least dangerous of the three. Probably more stuff to do there. I don't know. I would go to Austin before I would go to the other 2 cities. Dallas is cool. Houston is kind of crazy to me. I'm a professional drifter. Oh wow. Have I ever drifted a car before? Nah, man, I haven't. I've seen people do it. Let me say this: I haven't. I haven't drifted a car on purpose. I did drift once in the. It was snowing and it was icy, so that was not intentional. That was not drifting. That was me sliding. And then I fell in a ditch. Bayou Hombre. What's up, Barry? What's popping? Mr. Doddard, Barry, Bayou Hombre, he's in, well, I don't know if he's in Houston right now, but he could tell you about Houston. You're from Columbus, Ohio? I got a couple friends from Columbus. Last time I was in Columbus, what year did I go to the Arnold? I competed at the Arnold in 2018? Man, time flies, bro. That feels like it was like a year ago. Time flies. What y'all up to, man? On a Sunday night. How many kids' books did you have to read to feel improvement? You're referring to Spanish. I don't have a number, man. I couldn't give you an honest number. It's not it's not magic, you know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna read X amount of books and at that number of books you're gonna just have like an awakening and say, oh my God, I know Spanish now. It's just like anything, man. It's just like working out or any kind of skill acquisition, you know what I mean? It's like you have nothing and slowly you're building these pieces. And one day you have enough pieces to have something decent, even if it doesn't feel decent in that moment. You know what I mean? So like, even now, bro, it's been like 5 years for me. Sometimes I talk to people and they don't even know that it's not my first language, or at least not something that I grew up speaking. And sometimes I still feel like I'm just like, what the like, why can't I say what I'm thinking or like what I want to express? You know what I mean? And so how you feel is not necessarily an accurate representation of how much progress you've made. Like obviously I've made a huge amount of progress in 5 years. But sometimes to me, I'm just like, bro, like this is crazy that I've been doing this for so long and I'm still hesitant to say X or Y thing, you know what I mean? So, but that's just stuff that's in your own mind, not necessarily reality. But no, I'm sorry, man. I don't have a number for you. All I can tell you is that try to make it a daily habit, bro. I think I'm a strength and conditioning coach, if you didn't know. So I'm all about the minimum effective dose for everything. For my athletes, for my own athletics, for Spanish, for anything. I'm like, do the bare minimum, but do it every single day. Do it so that it's locked into a part of your life and you're like, this is something that I don't skip. Like there's never a day in my life that I don't use Spanish. How much? You know, today I've only read like a couple pages and I haven't talked to anybody in Spanish today. Let me see. Did I talk to any of my friends today? Nah, I haven't talked to anybody. But I read something. You know what I mean? And in my learning days, I was doing more, but it's just a daily part of my life. And that's what it should be for you if you want to make some good improvement. I'm up in the Corvette horsepower from 532 to 2,800. Bro, I just told you I don't know anything about cars. That sounds crazy to me. I don't even know how to respond to that. Twin turbos, nitros, only 2,600 pounds. I don't even know what that means, bro. Rolando, what's up, bro? Yo, Romero has a podcast? Oh, bro, you might have just changed my life, bro. I've been looking for a new podcast to watch, and Yoel Romero is my guy, bro. I would listen to Yoel Romero talk all day, bro. One time, him and Joey Diaz were on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about um, crossing, escaping Cuba and stuff, and how people would get eaten by tigers and shit in the jungle. And I was like, man, I need a longer version of the story, bro. I need this dude to talk more. And what I was really thinking too is like, I need him to be on a Spanish podcast because in that moment, he was talking and he was waiting on Joey Diaz to translate to Joe Rogan. And I'm like, bro, we need to cut this middleman out and just have an all Spanish podcast. So if he has his own podcast, bro, you just changed my life. I'm married to a native speaker and still learning every day. I'm also 6 years in, learning don't stop. Yeah, exactly, man. It never stops. Just like English, bro. I mean, if you're really developing yourself, if you're really reading stuff in English, watching the news, if you're into, higher learning type stuff, you're gonna learn new words. I learn new words in English all the time, bro. Matter of fact, Rolando probably knows the word I'm thinking of right now. I forgot it. One of my English students, who's not a native speaker, taught me a word, bro. It has to do with Catholicism. Ah, I forgot. Rolando, who's the person that teaches Catholicism to children, maybe? It's like car. It starts with car. That's all I can remember. But when she said it, I was like, maybe she's pronouncing it wrong or something. I was like, I've never heard this word in my life. And I Googled it. I'm like, no, you're actually right. I just don't know this word. Like, I've never heard it in my entire life. Cardiac. Oh, yeah. How do you pronounce that, Rolando? That is, I think that is what it is. Because in Spanish it's catequista, right? And that's what she was trying to tell me. She was like, well, she was like, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. She was like, I'm trying to say catequista in English. And I'm like, I don't know what that shit is in English. Like, Big O, what's up? I feel like your Spanish is better than Joey Diaz. You know, I really don't like to say better or worse than anything because I feel like everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Catechist? I thought it was like, I don't know. I remember when I looked it up, I'm like, man, I wouldn't have thought that was a pronunciation. But yeah, I feel like everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Like, for example, like what I noticed with a lot of non-native speakers in any language, for example, like my students, they might actually have like some very colorful vocabularies, right? And I'm like, man, that's a good English word you just used. But if they need to tell a story, it could be the most simple story. And it's like they get caught up trying to say like, oh, and then he said to her, and they're like, wait, no, not her, him. And then like they get all mixed up trying to tell like a simple story. And I feel like the same way, even when I'm telling stories in Spanish sometimes to my friends, I'm like, this is just a lot harder than it should be. You know what I mean? But if it was like a more academic conversation or something, it might not even feel as difficult because you're using like bigger words and it's not as fast and whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing that native speakers or bilingual people have on people that learn the language. I think you don't have to think as much when you're talking about very simple stuff because you've been talking about it your entire life. To teach orally, to instruct by word of mouth, stemming from the verb. Rolando, I need you to give me a phonetic spelling of that word. Because I just remember when I Googled it and I played the sound out loud, I was like, oh, what the? Or do you know how to do phonetic spellings? I don't know if you know how. At least tell me where the strength is, like the emphasis. I just went on a crazy tangent off of Michael B's question. Bro, that's not even the same word. You put catechism. All right, so wherever the strength goes, I need you to put that one in all caps. And we need kissed, not kism. You about to make me Google it. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah, Rolando, you can never be my teacher, bro. I'm giving you a 5 out of 10. All vowels are stressed equally. That does not help, bro. At least tell me if I said it right. Is it catechist? Oh, okay. That's what I needed to know. I feel like Google didn't say. Hold on, bro. Let me get on Google real fast. I don't trust you. Okay, it was catechist. You were right. I did trust you, but I had to confirm. I had to confirm. Well, anyways, yeah. So I did not know that word. Never heard it in my life, bro. And my student said it in a sentence, which because she said she was one, and I'm like, you're a what? And she kept saying it, and um, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. And she's like, what? You don't know what it is? And she's like, oh, I must be saying it wrong. And then she said catequista, and I'm like, no, I've never heard of that. And then I just, like I said, I just realized I didn't know the word in English. So there's always more to learn, man. There's always more to learn in everything, bro. You can never know everything. And if you think you can know everything, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's not necessarily a theological word, but it's almost exclusively used in that context. Well, I mean, I imagine I can't see another time somebody would want to use that. It's kind of like, I'm thinking of like Muslim terminology. Like, you're not gonna hear someone say imam outside of religion. Sometimes, I guess sometimes you might hear people say sheikh, but not really. I feel like religious stuff usually stays in religious context. Rolando, what you been up to, man? What's going down in Houston, man? This is what's been going down in my city. These, they're everywhere. I killed at least 50 of these today. And I know that they're mosquito hunters. I know that they're not mosquitoes. I know that they're doing good in the world, but I don't want them flying around my house, bro. I don't want them flying around my house. I don't want mosquitoes or crane flies. So that's what's going down here. Is it bug season in Houston yet? How do I take green screen off? Okay, we're back. Everybody else in the chat, what y'all got going on, man? What y'all do this week? Tell me something interesting about your life. Tell me your goals. How's goal chasing going? Are y'all on track? I posted this tweet on my Instagram that triggered hella people. It says something to the extent of, you know what? Let me see if I can put it on the green screen. That'd be a good background. Trigger some YouTube people. La felicidad me encuentro y lo sabe bien. Let's see. Where is the tweet? Oh, here it is. Oh, I can't make it smaller. Trash. Well, it basically says if someone followed you around for a week, would they think you were serious about achieving your goals? That triggered a lot of people. Don't know why. I thought it was a very thought-provoking tweet. Like, damn, yeah, like, someone followed me around for a week, they might be like, you're not serious, bro. You're taking way too many naps. You ain't reading as much as you said you were gonna do, you know? Tell that lady to make sure she has... Bro, I'm not gonna talk to her about the Catholic Church again. The only reason we were talking about that is because I asked her why did she, because she's actually an English teacher in Colombia. So she was taking English classes with me. Because, you know, you can teach little kids a language without being very advanced in the language because you're only teaching them very basic stuff. So, but I was asking her, like, what got her into it? Like, why does she want to do it? And she was bringing that up, saying, like, that's where she found her love for teaching. You watching The Count of Monte Cristo? You like it? I'm trying to watch the new movie. It's not that new anymore, but I just haven't got around to watching it. What's the movie called with Nosferatu? The fucking... That's not the name of the movie, right? I don't know what the name of the movie is, but I'm trying to watch that. It looked interesting. Some people posted some scenes on Twitter. I'm like, I have to watch that. Nosferatu. It's a good movie. I love watching movies, man. A movie has to be just like complete dog shit for me to not like it, bro. As long as it's like mildly entertaining, I love movies, bro. There's always like some kind of lesson you can get from them or something like that. Actually, I was really wondering if anybody was gonna say something. Of course, it's you. I didn't even know you were listening. You're supposed to be asleep, bro. Nosferatu. Bro, you can never fall asleep because you won't just close your eyes. Oh, can you put the alarm on? You need to put on your yoga sounds. Not yoga. What is that shit? Guided meditation and stuff. And get off of the stream. This is not gonna help you fall asleep. They haven't been closed, or else you wouldn't be on here typing. Every time you do something, you're restarting the process. You gotta just get on your guided meditation, bro. You need to get some like melatonin or something. Has everybody or anybody in this chat seen the movie My Girl, the old joint? My wife hasn't seen it, Axa. She has not seen My Girl. I have to make her watch it. This YouTube live will be my guided meditation. No, it won't. You need to go to sleep, bro. Ooh, I'm only staying out for 1 hour today because, bro, I worked out hard as shit. Then I got in the sauna. I'm toasted, bro. Like, I feel like I ran a marathon. Like, I'm just ready to close my eyes. The sauna is draining. All right, love you, Aksa. Night night. Do a guided meditation. Who else is in the chat not talking? What y'all doing, bro? If you're driving or something, don't respond. I don't want you to crash. Don't put that on me. Dum 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 dum. Afligido me encuentro, lo sabe bien. Mi pasado me pasa, me quiero cambiar. Yo te abro la puerta, ya puedes entrar. Señora, ¿a quién iremos? Tú tienes palabra de vida eterna. What's up, Rod? You're not driving? Oh, that's different, bro. What you up to? What you up to, bro, on a Sunday? I'm trying to get all my convo in because I'm about to get off of here at 1 hour, bro. I'm not doing a long night tonight. 32 more minutes. Just chilling. Did you hang out with your girl this weekend? Pretty sure you said you did, right? Bro, Woman in the Yard. I saw someone on Twitter say it was a 0 out of 10. And they highly recommended not going to watch it. Is that true? Not good. Bro, I've never seen something just unanimously being just decided that it's just trash. I have not seen one person say it was good. Did your girl go watch the movie with you? Yo te abro la puerta, ya puedes entrar. Bro, you took your son to a horror movie? How old is he? And I was about to say, did your girl speak more English than I think? I feel like comedy and horror are tough. if you don't speak a language well. Bro, your son's 27? Rob, how old are you, bro? Unless you don't want to tell me. You might be older than I thought you were. You have to be older than I thought you were, actually. You're 52? I gotta look at your face again. I feel like I thought you were a lot younger than that. Maybe not extremely young, but I definitely thought you were younger than that. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's cool. Did he also not like the movie? He didn't really say. That's interesting. I'm waiting for someone to say it was good. I'm not gonna watch it. I've seen too many people say it was bad to be interested in watching it. I don't know if you were in here in the chat when I said a movie has to be dog shit for me to not enjoy it, because I just like watching movies. Horror is like the one genre where I'm like, I'm about to turn this shit off. If it sucks, like, that's the one genre I'm like, bro, like, horror movies don't really have good dialogue and plots and stuff in the first place, right? So if it sucks, it's kind of just unbearable. At least, I don't know if it's a rom-com or an action movie or something. Like, there's some kind of plot that I can somewhat get behind, or there's like some character that I'm like, well, at least I like this character. I want to see what happens. But when a horror movie sucks, man, it sucks bad. It was interesting up until about halfway through, then it was all downhill. Damn, that's even worse. Best horror movie I've ever seen is called High Tension. High Tension. If you've never seen High Tension, you gotta watch it. It might go under thriller. Maybe it's not considered horror. But whatever. It's scary and it's great. High Tension. It's a French movie. So you gotta watch it either with subtitles. I wouldn't. Oh, you could watch it dubbed. You could watch it dubbed if you could find it. But to this day, I still say it's the best horror movie I've ever seen. And I want to say it came out when I was a kid, bro. I remember my parents told me not to watch it because they had a DVD. Bro, I will never forget, on the DVD case, the thing said scary as hell. That was one of the critic reviews. His review just said scary as hell. And that intrigued me so much as a kid. I was like, I gotta sneak and watch this shit. I waited till my parents like left and went to work or some shit. Rob, it's called High Tension. High Tension. I waited till they went to work or some shit. I watched it by myself, bro. I was so fucking scared, bro. I didn't even want to go to sleep later that night. And so 10 or so years later, maybe 10, 15 years later, I was in college and I told my friend, like, hey, yo, I remember this movie I watched when I was a kid. I'm gonna try to find it on the internet. And we watched it when I was in college. Now that was that was 15 years ago. Yeah, that was 15 years ago. So we watched it back then, which was 10 or 15 years later from the first time I watched it, and we said, damn, that shit was good. Like, that was still good. And I feel like if I watched it today, I would think the same thing. Because I was, I was young, but I was still an adult. And most of the time when I watch a movie as an adult that I watched as a kid, I'm like, oh man, this shit sucks. I don't know what I was watching back then. But yeah, High Tension. Great movie. Check this out. I thought, am I really going to watch Woman in the Yard the whole movie? So it's literally a woman in the yard the whole time? I kind of thought that was just the title and it wasn't really going to be that. That's kind of insane, bro. That's insane, bro. Yeah, that's not appealing, bro. It does not make me want to watch it. Woman in the Yard. I'm trying to figure out like what What did they do with the movie? Like, what was the plot? You can tell me because I'm not gonna watch that shit. Damn. Like, how did they make a woman in the yard scary? Is she a monster or is it like a regular woman? Because I would have just started throwing bricks at her, bro. Did they do that? If they didn't start throwing bricks at her, oh, it was the spirit of the woman in the house. Did somebody try to throw something at her? That's my biggest problem with horror movies. And that's one of the things I liked about High Tension was that it was realistic in what you would do if someone was in your house, if someone was chasing you, if someone was whatever. Kind of like a second dimension. Okay, I need to know. So, like, people are in the house and they're like, hey, there's a woman in the yard. She's basically a shadow inside the house, but the woman in the yard outside the house. What? I might watch it just so I can not be so confused. So what triggers the movie's plot? Do they see her inside of the house or do they see her outside of the house? Are they like looking out the window and they're like, hey, there's a woman in the yard? They see her outside, lady and two kids. I'm guessing lady and two kids refers to the people inside of the house. So a lady and two kids. Okay, lady and two kids look outside and they say, hey, there's a woman in our yard. And then what? I might need to watch it just so I can see how stupid it is. This might inspire me to make a TikTok and tell everybody how dumb the fucking movie is. I guess she was dead or something, so an evil spirit came to fulfill that duty. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this movie sounds trash, bro. Sounds trash. Did you ever watch Hereditary? Hold on one second. Hereditary was good, man. It's very slow. It's very slow to get to the action. But once everything kicks in motion, it's like, oh shit. But it has to be slow. It has to be slow for the movie to work. Because you really have to understand the story behind every character and like why the end happens the way the end happens. And so if you don't have that slow beginning, there's no way. Hold on a second, my wife's texting me. Yeah, man, it's long. It's long. It's long, but it's worth it, in my opinion. One of the few memorable horror movies that I've watched. Like I said, High Tension's #1 of all time. What the fuck is that space movie called? Can't think of the space movie. But the space movie is good too, where he's like, you don't need eyes where we're going. And he like rips his own eyes out. That was a good one. I literally just can't think of the name right now. Young Kobe, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a minute. What else? The space movie, the name that I can't think of right now. High Tension. Hereditary. Personal favorite of mine is Hellraiser, but I don't expect other people to like it. But the very first Hellraiser is very good. Very creative horror movie. You like that? Okay. So we're on the same page. I cannot think of that space movie. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But I felt like that space movie was very similar to Hellraiser because it had to do with like alternate dimension type stuff that ended up being hell. Oh, you know what? I think they're remaking a Cujo, bro. I saw something about another Cujo coming out. I don't know how that's gonna work. Because like Cujo back in the day, they were like stuck in a car, stuck somewhere. You got cell phones now, bro. So it's gonna be like not realistic. Nobody doesn't have their cell phone in their pocket. So I'm interested to see how that remake's gonna work out. I like Cujo. Is there any other horror movies that I liked growing up? Wrong Turn. Remind me what that's about? Is that like the three dudes that are like hunting them or nah? So I think I'm mixing that up with The Hills Have Eyes. I like The Hills Have Eyes too, actually, now that I think about it. Oh, okay, yeah. So Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes are pretty similar. I was gonna say I'm mixing them up in my head, but I feel like they're actually pretty similar. But yeah. No, I remember now. Oh, you know what? That reminds me of The Strangers. That one was good. That one actually freaked me out as a kid. I'll never forget right before they died. And she asked them, she said, "Why are you doing this?" And that little girl just said, "Because you were home." And ever since then, bro, I do not answer the door for anybody, bro. Like, like just in case some murderous people are just like, all right, whoever answers the door first, let's kill them. Now I just don't answer the door. If it's that important, they'll come back. Bro, speaking of which, there's a Final Destination coming out in May. I think it's like May 10th or something. I just watched the trailer. And to your point, bunch of people bitching in the fucking comments, bro. Like, well, that just looks fake. And it's like, well, bro, it's not real. Like, it's not gonna look like real like that, bro. It's Final Destination, man. Just enjoy it. And then other people were like, because in the trailer, I don't know, the guy like breaks some glass but doesn't realize that he broke it, and it falls in the cooler. And so like it makes you think that someone's gonna drink the glass or something like that. And everyone was like, the first thing they teach you as a bartender is you never fucking do something with broken glass. And it's like, bro, it's a fucking movie. And who said he's a trained bartender? Like, it's a family function. Like, what are you talking about? I feel like cinema has gotten to a point where, like, everything that happens, people are just like, well, that's not realistic. It's just like, it was never supposed to be realistic, bro. Not like that, you know? Kind of like I was saying earlier, I do like to see realistic things happen. You know, if it's horror, I want to see the people fight, try to shoot something instead of just like crawling on the ground and dying. I'm like, come on, man. People would try to survive. But it doesn't have to be super realistic. I'm not gonna be like, what? He only stabbed her 2 times and she died. Like, nah, bro. Like, if he caught her and he stabbed her, okay, whatever, she's dead. So it doesn't have to be realistic. Realistic. Some stuff's outrageous, but man, I liked all the Final Destinations, bro. I've seen every single one. And there's another one. What's this movie called? The dude's like I guess you would call him a serial killer, but I want to say, oh, paranormal. No. You're probably talking about the Blair Witch Project. That one's legendary, bro. I don't think you're talking about Paranormal Activity. I think you're talking about the Blair Witch Project. The craziest thing about the Blair Witch Project was like, I don't think you can do this anymore, but they claimed that shit was real. So I distinctly remember, like, when that shit came out, people were like, no, it's real, bro. They put on the thing that this really happened, and they still don't know what happened to the last person. And I'm like, what? I was a kid when that shit came out. But these were adults saying this shit. And to this day, bro, there's people that if they never thought about it again, you just ask them like, hey, do you remember the Blair Witch Project? Didn't they say that shit was real? And they're like, oh, I thought it was real. And like, I don't think you can do that anymore. I think I remember they started having this, like, all the movies started saying like loosely based around true events or based on true events, because I think you can get in trouble. I think you can get in trouble for saying it's a true story. But Blair Witch Project just straight up told people like, this shit is real. This is real footage from the from this fucking forest, bro. But yeah, that was good. Blair Witch Project was good. That was legendary, bro. You can't recreate something like that. It'll never work again. They Yeah, one time deal that worked for them. Exactly, bro. That shit was amazing. And what was I gonna say? Paranormal Activity was similar. I don't think they said it was true, but I do remember people saying like they were like kind of arguing, was it real footage or not? That's what they said in The Hunting in Connecticut. I haven't seen that. What's that? The Hunting in Connecticut. I was thinking of another movie. They got too corny in the following movies. I didn't even know there was more, bro. I thought the Blair Witch Project was just it. Wait, Paranormal Activity is related to the Blair Witch Project? Or no? Or did you just switch ideas? I remember the first Paranormal Activity was decent. Just because, kind of like the Blair Witch Project, it was simple. There wasn't too much going on. It was just a scary thought. Okay, not related. Okay, yeah. But like you said, you can only do that one time with an idea like that. You can't keep going. Like, I'm not gonna watch 6 movies of a camera recording a bedroom and more stuff starts happening. The first one was scary because you're like, well, I've never seen some shit like this. This is crazy. And I think that's what a lot of those directors miss, is that scary movies are scarier as an idea than they are as like jump scare and shit. When you get older, bro, the jump scare shit, it makes you jump if it's like really unexpected. But we know this shit isn't real, bro. We know the monsters and stuff aren't real. So that shit doesn't scare you. It has to be something that puts a little doubt in your head. You know what I mean? Like that's why the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity and possession type stuff works because people are like they're usually kind of on the fence about that. They're like, I don't really believe in ghosts, but I guess it's a possibility. You know what I mean? Like straight up monsters. Most people are like, yeah, that shit's not real, bro. We would know if there was fucking monsters, you know, or like some fucking I don't know, whatever, any kind of monster. You're just like, that shit's. It was scary that it popped up, but it's not. It's not actually scary. But spirits, you know what I mean? Even if you're not really a believer, you're like, I guess that there's a possibility. That shit's kind of scary thinking about some fucking possessed person standing over you in the middle of the night or something. Or like Hereditary. Don't want to spoil it just in case you ever watch it, but death cult shit. You're like, oh, that shit, that could really happen. Like, I don't know about the actual possession part of it, but even if you have a cult of people that think that killing you will lead to you being a host for their fucking demon king, they'll still kill you. So that's scary in itself. There was another series of, I want to call it horror. I think it's called The Collector. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Kind of reminded me of Saw. Like some serial killer type dude that was just straight up fucking people up. Damn, this makes me think. I've seen a lot of gruesome movies. Like what were those movies called? Tourista, where they like go fucking on vacation and get kidnapped, and Bone Collector, is that what it's called? I know it had Collector in it. But yeah, the Tourista movies fucking just get kidnapped and people are just doing torture experiments on you. Human Centipede. I don't know. That's not really horror. I think that's like wacko sci-fi shit. Hostel. That's the other one I was thinking of. That goes right up hand in hand with Tourista. You know, all of those movies, kind of like we just said with Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes. Do you ever notice that every movie that comes out, or at least every good movie, another studio makes the exact same movie? I always wonder, like, did a guy go to one studio with the script and they're like, nah, that shit sucks. And then he goes to the other one and they pick it up, and then the first people just steal the idea. 'Cause they're like, well, he already presented it. Let's just run with that shit. Or do they have like a mole in one of the studios? Because this shit happens so much, bro. Like all the Disney movies. Like, remember there was A Bug's Life and then there was Ants. I'm like, it's the same fucking movie, bro. There's a movie called The Book of Life, which I saw first. Um, and then I remember I was telling my wife about it, and she was like, "Oh, you're talking about Coco?" And I'm like, "Coco? No, this shit's called The Book of Life." I watched Coco, and I'm like, "What the?" I'm like, they ripped off The Book of Life, like straight up bar for bar, bro. Like Day of the Dead concept, everything is exactly the same. And I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica, yeah. The Matrix, and there was like three movies that came out at the same time as The Matrix, and The Matrix just stood out more. But like, there was a movie called like Dark Planet or some shit like that, which was basically The Matrix. Uh, Another movie called The 13th Floor, which was technically better than The Matrix as far as story, kind of in my opinion, but it wasn't as good like presentation because I think The Matrix came after both of those. But The 13th Floor was amazing. I don't know which one you're saying you've seen. If you're saying the 13th Floor, then we're on the same page. That was a really good movie, and it made sense. Um, yeah, that concept. Yeah. That concept always stuck with me, man. I'm like, damn, like, so like we could really be like in a simulation. Sometimes I want to just keep driving, just to see if I get to the edge. But I'm like, I know this is not a fucking simulation. I'm like, this is a simulation. It's the worst simulation ever, bro. But yeah, that one was good. Gattaca was good. You ever seen the movie Precognition? That was good. I think that might be like one of the only movies that, as far as I know, doesn't have a counterpart. You never seen Precognition, bro? Oh my god, you gotta watch it. You gotta put that on a list and like watch it this week, bro. Tom Cruise. What? Bro, let me tell you what it's about without ruining it for you. It's the future, and they have something called pre-crime. The world is better. They know when people are gonna commit murders, and they stop it before it happens, and basically send you to jail for life for thinking of doing it. So the person doesn't die, and you go to jail. And the way they do it is they have these thing called precogs, which is like three children that have psychic abilities, and they got them in like a fucking pool, and they're like farming their thoughts, and a little ball will roll out, and it'll say this person's gonna commit a murder at this time, and they rush and go stop them in the act. But no, you're thinking of the Butterfly Effect, which is also really good. I think you're thinking of the Butterfly Effect. Oh no. Sorry, you're thinking of Groundhog Day, which is also really good. Groundhog Day type movies and shows, and Butterfly Effect type movies and shows are always good because they're great. They're great, thought provoking concepts. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Groundhog Day. If it's any kind of movie where it might not be called Groundhog Day, but that's what the effect is called, where you wake up every single morning and you get up and you're like, wait, this coffee mug was right here. And then you start walking and then you die. And then you wake up again and you're like, oh, I need to not do this. And then you can keep living the exact same day over and over, and you have to figure out how to get out of that day. That's called the Groundhog Effect. It's called Groundhog Day, some shit like that. What's up, Giselle? Oh, I know what you're talking about. It is Tom Cruise too, and it's not called Groundhog Day, but that is the Groundhog Effect. Yeah, that's some futuristic movie. I can't think of what it's called right now, but that was a good movie too. And it's the exact same concept. You got to figure out how to get out of that effect that you keep dying in every single day. But no, back to, what is it called? I don't even know if the movie's. No, sorry. I told you the movie's called Precognition. It's not called Precognition. It's called Minority Report. Minority Report? Yeah, it's called Minority Report. And it's like I said, they got these little psychic kids that print out the crime before it happens. And basically, Tom Cruise ends up being like, yeah, fuck this. I don't believe this shit. Minority is not the one he goes back in time. Yeah, we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Minority Report. We just couldn't think of the one where he goes back in time. But we were talking about Minority Report before you came into the chat. Yeah, Minority Report was good, man. It was good. And it gets into, I feel like any type of movie like that is always related to it's always related to like 1984 and shit like that, where they're talking about thought crime. Like, it's always that debate. Like, should you get in trouble for thinking about something? Obviously not. But at the same time, it's like, but if you were gonna murder that person, should you get in trouble for it? I don't know. But it was a good movie. The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher. Love that movie too. Love that movie. The Butterfly Effect, period. Not even just a movie, just a concept. The Edge of Tomorrow. Yes, that's what it was called. We couldn't think of what it was called. But yeah. Butterfly Effect. Any movie that has the butterfly effect is always a good movie. I love the concept of the butterfly effect. Like, you think you would make your life better if you made X decision, and you might make everything worse because you don't know what that little change would cause. Butterfly Effect was good, yeah. I remember the first time, before I even saw the movie, I remember the first time I heard of what the butterfly effect was when I was a kid. I was like, whoa, that's the coolest shit ever. Looking back at it, I'm like, that's kind of stupid. But I like the idea of the butterfly effect. And like I said, any movies that have the groundhog effect, like Edge of Tomorrow, those are always good. As long as it's not too stupid. As long as there's actually a way for them to get out of it and learn a lesson and whatever. I wonder, have y'all seen any movies that I haven't seen? I've seen like every movie in the world. At least all the good ones, anyways. If you can think of a good movie that I haven't seen, I'll be impressed. And I'll probably watch it tomorrow. But I'm also going to think that it's probably not that good if I haven't seen it. You like monster movies that look like they could be realistic? Give me an example of a monster movie that looks like it could be realistic. I'm interested. Oh, okay. That's fair. I don't know. That didn't even pop in my head. That's a good one. I'll take it. I don't think I've seen the latest ones. Oh, I watched Godzilla vs. King Kong in one of these things, and it was stupid. It was dumb as shit. Really? I haven't seen it. It's crazy. So my wife had never seen any of the movies, bro. So I wanted to watch the last one that just came out, or whatever. It came out last year. This is when we were in Colombia. And it hadn't actually came out yet. And I said, oh, man, I can't wait to watch that when it comes out. And she had never seen any of them. So we had to watch all of the Planet of the Apes. So all three of them. And then we never even watched the last one. I've never gotten around to watching it. So I'm kind of sad that you just said it's too fake. Just didn't have what it takes to make it believable. So in terms of like CGI or like concept or what? I think the CGI. Yeah, that's tough when you got a whole world of monkeys. You know what I mean? Um, you know the first one that came out before I was born, maybe in the 70s or something. That shit was amazing for what they were working with, man. Like you watch that shit and you're like, yo, this is good cosmetics, good prosthetics. They look like monkeys. And then the one with Mark Wahlberg in the 90s or so, early 2000s, it was okay. Just okay. Yeah, that was crazy. And I remember I watched a video that said that the book was different. It's a French book, and the book was different, but obviously they weren't working with a huge budget, so they just decided to do what they did. I think it was supposed to be a more advanced civilization, and because of their budget, they made it not such an advanced civilization. I don't really remember, but I do remember that the whole concept of the movie is to talk about racism without directly talking about it, and just to obviously like show it from a different angle so that you see like, oh yeah, if people do this, it's fucked up. But yeah, that first one was really good, man. That first one was really good. I think the ending, I think that's like one of the most iconic endings to a movie. That was the whole reason that we watched Planet of the Apes, because I actually didn't know what I was talking about. Like we either saw something or I brought it up. And she had no idea what I was talking about when I was talking about the Statue of Liberty being buried in sand, and you really did it. Like, she had no idea what I was talking about. So I was like, bro, we gotta watch at least the new trilogy of the Planet of the Apes. There's so many movies she hasn't seen, man. It's insane. It's very un-American. What other movies we got, man? Bum, 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 bum. What other movies we got? Y'all gotta tell me some movies that I haven't seen. Chuck. Hello. What up, Chuck? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? If a woodchuck could chuck wood, then a woodchuck would chuck. I can't remember how it goes. If a woodchuck could chuck wood, then a woodchuck would chuck. Damn. It's been too long. My inner child is dying, bro. I used to be able to say that without even thinking. How do you finish it? How much wood could a woodchuck? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? If a woodchuck could chuck wood, then a woodchuck would chuck. Damn. Rich Patrick. Faces of Death. Remind me what that one's about. Is that with the clowns or no? I can't remember. Faces of Death. Nah. Like vaguely describe what Faces of Death is about. Faces of Death. It's like I know it, but I don't know it. Gotta go watch TV. Be back later. All right, man. Have fun watching TV. Random documentaries are crazy ass shit. No, I don't think I know that one. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about, actually. For some reason, I was thinking you were talking about like a legit theater movie type thing. But I know what you're talking about. There's a lot of stuff from our past that's banned now. There's a lot of stuff. I know you're older than me, but there's a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have had access to as a kid. You know, when stuff is new, all you can do is learn, right? So our parents, the world didn't know what unrestricted internet access was gonna do to people. There was no way to know. You know what I mean? Like I just like distinctly remember being in school because this was like I said, this was when the internet was new. We were just getting computers in the classroom and stuff. So there was no teacher locks. There was no block that you could just get on any website because they just assumed that we would do our schoolwork. And I just remember this kid being like, type in rotten.com. Bro, I remember typing that shit in. And I just remember seeing a person that had blown their shit off with a shotgun. Head just looked like I don't know, looked like if somebody had busted a watermelon, bro. And I was just like, what? Like, I'm like, is this real? I'm like, this can't be real. And my friend was like, yeah, bro. Like, the site just has a bunch of pictures of dead people. Like, bro, it's like people that got ran over by trains and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, bro, we would literally just be in the computer lab, not doing our work, just scrolling through pictures of dead people, bro. And then once like shit got better and you could actually load videos, that was even worse, bro. We were watching cartel slaughter videos, bro, watching dudes pull beating hearts out of people's chests while they were still conscious. There's no I just shouldn't have been watching that shit at like 10 years old, bro. If I was even 10. That had to have done some kind of damage to my brain. You had to go to basketball practice right after seeing that. Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised like that shit didn't create like some generation of serial killers or something, bro. I mean, I guess I don't know. In the past, I guess people have probably seen death up close. If you're in a fucking tribe warring with another tribe, you watch people get fucking speared to death and shit. So I guess it's not something completely new, but that definitely desensitized us to death a little bit for sure. Even now, like a lot of people complain about seeing death on Twitter every day because Elon Musk has like ruined Twitter, and you just open the app and like someone's falling off a building or fucking getting ran over or some shit. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of like my 100,000 times seeing this, so it doesn't bother me that much. And people are like, this just ruined my day. I'm gonna have to call out of work. And I'm like, damn, you must have not grown up with the internet I grew up with. The Rockefeller movie, I forgot what it was called, but dude was missing in the jungle, and again, the natives would capture and eat the people. What movie is that? Don't know. Don't know. There's a movie that I've seen that a lot of people have not seen, and I can't think of what it's called right now. Something with an axe. Bone, bone axe. Can somebody Google bone
Bone Axe. I don't know what else you need to type. Bone Axe movie. It has bone and axe in it. I literally just, I'm so tired. I can't think of the name. Bone Crusher Axe. No, it's not that. It's something with bone and axe in it. And that movie's gory. What's up, bro? I saw you run a 7 minute mile. You back on it, huh? This isn't bothering me. I need someone to Google it. Bone something axe. Bone Crusher axe. Bone. I'm about to Google it. Oh, y'all are not gonna Google it for me. Bone Tomahawk. I was close. A tomahawk's kind of like an axe, right? That movie is gruesome. That movie's like an old kind of Western type thing where these guys they're getting some reports of some indigenous people doing some activity and they're like, oh, let's go fucking stop them. And they just get picked off by these people. And there's this one scene, bro, I can describe it to you and it's still gonna fuck you up if you watch it. Cause like, I mean, you know it's not real, but like you think about it happening in real life. But anyways, imagine they capture these white dudes that went to go get them. So they're in like cages and there's these indigenous people that are buff as fuck. And they pull one of the dudes out, take his clothes off. One indigenous dude's holding one of his ankles, the other indigenous dude's holding his other ankle. So two dudes are holding this white dude upside down. And then the chief type dude comes and he's got this tomahawk, he's got this axe, and he's lining that joint up. So imagine this dude's upside down, butthole naked, and the dude gets the axe and just goes whoosh, right in the middle, bro, in his butt. And then he, like, it doesn't go all the way through because it's an axe and it's a human body, so he takes it out and he's, and then like he keeps going until it splits him and there's two pieces of him. And all of the other people are in the cage, like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was this type of movie, bro. Good movie though. Good movie. There's a scalping scene. Some other stuff that happens. It's pretty brutal. It's a good movie though. I don't really know what category that movie falls into. It might be horror actually. The Search for Michael Rockefeller. I actually haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I love watching stuff that I haven't seen before, so. The Search for Michael Rockefeller. Oh man, let's see. 10:45. I said I was gonna stay on for 1 hour. I will stay on until 11 o'clock or until my battery dies, whichever comes first. Because I'm at 6%, and for some reason, my charger isn't charging. So, y'all got me for at least about 15 more minutes to talk about how the internet fucked us up in gory movies. People called it the one-eyed devil. I just saw that message. Apocalypto. That just made me think of Apocalypto. It was a good movie. What else? I like to watch a lot of foreign movies. I watched Korean movies before it was cool to watch Korean movies. Now everybody watches like fucking K-dramas and shit like that. But I was watching Korean horror films way back in the day in college. My thing was always telling people, have you seen Old Boy? You need to watch Old Boy with me. I used to make people watch Old Boy. Oh, shit would fuck people's heads up, bro. Old Boy, Lady Vengeance, I Saw the Devil. There's a couple good Korean horror films. Really good. I watch a lot of... Bro, it's funny you said that I watched that. because literally today I tweeted I need to watch this movie because there's this screenshot from the movie where the dude's in the car like looking back at somebody, and people always post that shit as a meme. And I'm like, I gotta watch this fucking movie, man, because I've seen this reference way too many times and I don't understand it. And everyone laughs, so I know that shit has to be a good movie, and a lot of people have seen it. But no, I have not seen it. Have not seen it. I imagine you think it was good if you brought it up. I love the house from Parasite. I don't know what that means because I haven't seen it. Jono City, Gagina. You have to see it. It used to be on Netflix. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Like I said, I literally decided today that I need to watch it, so it will happen probably sometime this week. Don't know exactly when, but I'll get around to it. What other good movies have I not seen? I like watching all different kinds of foreign films, man. Honestly, a lot of foreign films are just better than American movies because they don't end happy. That's like a mandatory, obligatory thing for American movies. Like it has to end with the hero winning. Everything turns out well. And there's a lot of foreign films where it's just like, yeah, this is the end, bro. Like nobody wins. This shit sucks. Like such is life. Sometimes that's how real life ends up. And you're just like, what? They're just gonna end the movie right there? I remember I used to try to get, like I said, I used to be on Korean movies way back in the day. I used to try to get people to watch Train to Busan like 15 years ago, bro. People be like, man, I'm not watching a fucking Korean zombie movie. And I'm like, no, bro, this shit's fire. You gotta watch it. It's different, bro. And I could never get anyone to watch it. Like 10 years later, man, I see all these motherfuckers like, oh, you guys gotta watch Train to Busan on Netflix. It's so good. And I'm like, bro, I used to try to get everyone to watch this movie, bro. All right, man. See you later. I'm only going to be on here for like 10 more minutes anyway. If Rolando stops responding, I'm probably going to get up before then. I think Rolando's the last one left. Rolando, you're the chat savior. If you don't respond in the next minute, I'm going to sleep. Let's see, it says 83 minutes and 5 seconds. I'll give it until 84. If nothing happens in the chat before 84, I'm gonna hit end and take myself to sleep. Please bring honor to us all. Yo me encuentro, yo sabe bien. 15 seconds. Me pasa, me pasa, y me quiero cambiar. All right, I'm out. See y'all later. Have a good night. Peace.